Good morning and cruise news time for you today. Got some good cruise news stories. I'm Danny, and this is Sandy Destinations Travel. Let's start off first by talking about Carnival making its return to Belize, being the first cruise ship to get to that country in the 16 months. They landed there yesterday as part of the resumption of cruising. You know, the Carnival Vista marked its first visit there. Uh, they left out of Port Galveston on July 3rd. The ship arrived off the coast of Belize City at around 8 a.m. yesterday, and the guests were able to enjoy a lot of the day on tours or just experiencing the Fort Street Tourism Village. The cruise ship does tender when calling to Belize, and that was the case for the Carnival Vista, with tender boats operating between the ship and land. So you know that tender is always a fun thing. I remember a story back. It got hot, muggy. I have a little bit of motion sickness on smaller vessels, so windows had to close up on a tender, and I ended up fainting, passing out, and ultimately getting sick on someone. So, tenders aren't fun for me, but it is what it is. Belize, they're taking the return of cruise visitors seriously by ensuring that those people within the village are vaccinated, and that local vendors are ready to cater to thousands of cruise passengers safely. Over the coming months, even more cruise ships obviously will be making a return to Belize, as well as many other Caribbean cruise destinations. Carnival Vista also visited Montego Bay, as I reported earlier. They're planning to return to Galveston on July 10th, so a couple of days from now. And just as a reminder, the ship is 133,500 gross tons in weight, and has a guest capacity of 3,934 at double occupancy. Obviously, this vessel did not cruise at full capacity. And then let's move on to Carnival Mardi Gras. And Carnival Mardi Gras, we got the Carnival Vista, and we got the Carnival Breeze. They're all making the return to sailing this month as well. The Vista and the Vista and Horizon, they were successful. Seems to be successful so far with what's going on there. So let's talk a little bit about the Breeze. It's also going to sail from Galveston. And it starts its maiden voyage again on July 15th, making it the third cruise ship for Carnival. The itineraries for that is going to be a 4-day voyage that will go to Cozumel and Costa Maya on a 5-day voyage. So it was built in 2012. The capacity of that ship is 3,646 passengers at double occupancy, and weighs 130 gross tons, making it the 5th largest ship in the Carnival fleet. This ship obviously is not going to be sailing at full capacity as well. It's going to be a while before we're at full capacity. Guests will need to be fully vaccinated on this ship, while children up to the age of 16 can board the ship with a negative PCR test. Then we go to the Carnival Miracle. It'll be making her appearance for the Alaska cruise season this summer. It's set to sail skipping Canada because the government did turn around and make it where we do not have to make a stop in Canada. She'll depart Seattle on a series of voyages that will call on a number of ports in the Alaska area. This ship This ship is the 88,500 tons, 2,680 passengers. The Carnival Miracle will be repositioned to Los Angeles after it gets done with its Alaska cruises. Guests will all need to be vaccinated for the Alaska cruise. And then the Mardi Gras. She will make her debut on July 31st, and we will finally see the debut of the most anticipated cruise ship in the world. Her maiden voyage will see the beautiful vessel sail from her home port in Port Canaveral on a familiar route for Carnival Cruise Lines. Her first ever port of call with passengers on board will be San Juan, Puerto Rico, before sailing to Carnival's premier cruise destination, Amber Cove. And the final port of call for the Mardi Gras will be in Nassau at the Bahamas. With a total guest capacity of 5,282 at double capacity and 6,338 at full capacity, the Mardi Gras is the largest cruise ship in the Carnival fleet. She'll be joined by her sister ship, Carnival Celebration, next year. Guests on board this cruise to the Caribbean on the Mardi Gras will also need to be vaccinated. By August 1st, the cruise line requires all teenagers above 12 years old to be fully vaccinated. So what about July and September? At the moment, Carnival Cruise Lines has only announced which ships will resume in July and August as part of its phased-in restart. There will be further, these 3 ships will resume through August, including the Magic out of Port Canaveral, Sunshine out of Miami, and Panorama out of Long Beach. We should know which of these vessels will make a comeback in September as long as the protocols stay in place. Before we get to our final story, I would like to say please subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell icon so you know anytime that a new video comes out. Try to do one daily. And as well, you know, I appreciate it in advance. I thank you for your support, and I appreciate everything the community does to help this out. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to email your questions to me. I'll be more than happy to answer them at sandydestinations2019@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. We're there as well. So let's talk briefly about the CDC. We got a lot to say about the CDC. You know, they have been in the middle of all of this. The CDC has tried to appeal the conditional sale order injunction from the lawsuit in Florida, but the judge there quickly dismissed the CDC's appeal on the conditional sailing order. It didn't take the judge long to answer with a clear and definite denied. The injunction of the CSO will remain in place as initially planned and will go into effect on July 18th. This ruling does not affect the appeal that the government organization has in the U.S. Court of Appeals in Atlanta. However, it is a blow to the CDC, who, according to the judge, has shown no reasoning why the CDC should be able to wield extreme and unnecessary measures over one industry. I mean, honestly, if you can fly, if you can go to baseball games, go to concerts, go to anything without masks just about now. I mean, there's a few, public transportation is still required. Hopefully come September that will no longer be necessary as well. Hopefully they'll just drop that. There's no reason why they should be trying to penalize the cruise industry. Yes, when this all started, there was outbreaks on ships, but that's not how it got started. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew anything about it. Um, it is what it is. I think Princess Cruise Lines did the best they could under the situation that was handed to them. They could not control the fact that all these people, even though they were quarantined, were stuck on the ship because nobody would uh, let them go to shore and get these people into hospitals. But it's not about health. While the CDC insists that the case is about the measure of cruise industry's needs to follow and about the health and well-being of guests on board the cruise ships while stopping the spread of COVID ashore and on board, the judge, he had some different thoughts on this. According to the 3-page response from the judge, the CDC is mistakenly taking this as a health issue, where the judge sees the CDC using unwarranted governmental powers, according to Fox Business. This action is not about what health precautions against COVID-19 are necessary or helpful aboard a cruise ship. This action is about the use and misuse of governmental powers. The CDC then used use their power to dismiss the ability of local health authorities to deal with any situation that might come up. Although the CDC inadvertently garnishes the argument with dire prospect of transmission of COVID-19 aboard a cruise vessel, these dark illusions dismiss state of local health authorities, the industry's self-regulating, and through the costly preparations and accommodations by all concerned to avoid transmission and to confine the transmission if one occurs. We've already had a couple of cases pop up on a few cruise ships, and due to the precautions that the cruise ships have made and the plans that they've made, it hasn't been widespread. We know there's going to be cases of COVID on board cruise ships, folks. We know it. The question is how are the cruise ships going to handle it, and what precautions will they take, and will the protocols that they put in place work effectively? As of right now, that's an astounding yes. It seems to me like that it has worked with the cruise ships. They've done exactly what they're supposed to do. The judge likely has taken into account when he made his thoughts known that the CDC had a chance to develop an alternative to the conditional sail order, something the CDC has not been willing to take a part in. The government has also has not proven that a stay would hurt the CDC, the United States, any third party, or public municipality. So what's next? The ruling of the judge on the CSO and the request to stay is not the end of the line for the CSO, for the conventional sail order. Even after July 18th, the conventional sail order will remain in place. The difference is that the conventional sail order will become a recommendation instead of a regulation, meaning cruise lines can act upon it or not at will. The entire conditional sail order could also be reinstated in Florida if the CDC appeals to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit provided successful. The CSO is in place until November of this year. The cruise lines could decide for themselves if they will comply with the rules, as most ships will by sailing already in the upcoming months, and precautions are already underway to comply to sail under the CSO. Now, that being said, all this is only affecting Florida. Unless governors from Texas and from Alaska decide to take part in the lawsuit citing the same thing, then they're still under the CSO. It's just Florida that's being affected by that. So here's your cruise news for today. Hopefully it was informative for you. Hopefully you learned a little bit. And I will be back tomorrow with more cruise news. Again, this is Danny with Sandy Destinations Travel. If you have anything that you need to, any questions that you want to have answered, don't hesitate to give me an email, sandydestinations2019@gmail.com. Have a great day.